The media continues to show more sympathy for a terrorist organisation than they do for innocent Palestinians. This is Sky News claiming that the ceasefire was broken after 2 IDF soldiers were killed.
And of course, as you say, absolutely vital that this aid comes in, because the people of Gaza, I mean, this place is rubble. They're living in tents. They desperately need food. They need shelter. So I think, again, all we can do is hope for peace.
Yeah. Yeah. But James, can we still call it a ceasefire, though, when 2 IDF soldiers have been killed?
I mean, the framing of this is wild. 45 Palestinians were killed that day, and I think the total number is 99 Palestinians at time of the show, by the way, since the so-called deal. But this is a continuation of pushing the lie that the ceasefire was broken by Hamas when, as what usually happens, it was Israel who broke the ceasefire within days of Donald Trump's deal. Gaza's media office has accused Israel of violating the ceasefire with Hamas 47 times since the truce came into effect in early October. These violations have included crimes of direct gunfire against civilians, deliberate shelling and targeting, and the arrest of a number of civilians, reflecting the occupation's continued policy of aggression despite the declared end of the war. Authorities in Gaza called on the United Nations and the guarantor parties of the agreement to intervene urgently to compel the occupation to end its ongoing aggression and to protect unarmed civilian populations. Not to mention that the IDF are committing genocide. They should be prescribed by the UK, right? The IDF are not innocent civilians. There is no comparison between an occupying army and Palestinian children. The truth is, this is what I think anyway, there will never be a ceasefire because Israel don't want it. They are baiting the idea of a ceasefire to get all concessions, wanting Hamas to give up arms, which are currently the only military force Palestine has. Now, Israel has always pushed the idea that they just want the hostages back and that's it. Well, Hamas have given up all the hostages and yet Israel keeps attacking them. In fact, the Israeli Minister for National Security, Ben Gvir, said this. National Security Minister Ben Gvir, now that we have received the hostages, we must return to war and open the gates of hell upon Gaza. None of us are surprised, and this is what we all predicted. An all-out assault on Palestine. Maya, we've seen the language used in the media when referring to Palestinians, passive language and the subtle dehumanization of them. This is nothing new, isn't it?
I mean, it has been going on since time immemorial. It's nothing to do with the past few years. It's nothing to do with the past 10 years. I mean, obviously, it's ramped up recently, but Palestinians have just historically been so dehumanized. And I mean, you spoke about using the passive voice. They always died. It's never what killed them. They were never killed by anything. They just died. But Israeli soldiers, it's the age old, everyone's equal. Some people are just more equal than others. And that's what it is, that they are just so systemically dehumanized, and it's disgusting and it's nothing new. And every day I am disappointed but not surprised to read how they are portrayed in the media. They cannot even have respect in their death, let alone when they are alive. Nothing about them matters to the media establishment, and it's absolutely fucking horrific. They are human beings, with hopes and dreams, and so many of them have been murdered with no mercy, with no logic other than imperialism, and it's horrible.
Yeah, and obviously that last section there with Ben Gvir, right? The entire narrative has been, look, if Hamas give up the hostages, it's entirely their fault. They could end it right now. And a lot of us were saying, look, this is not an endorsement of Hamas, by the way, but it's simply the material reality that Hamas are the only armed resistance Palestine has at the moment, right? If they give up all the weapons and they give up, there is literally no resistance. That's just a fact. I'm not being put my opinion on that, right? And we were saying, look, if they give up the hostages, that's the last bargaining chip. And again, we want to see all the hostages released. They have been released, but we would know. And it's so obvious that Israel are going to go in and not hold back, as if they really held back anyway. And Ben Gvir just confirmed it. He said, well, the hostages are all back now. All out war.
Let's kill them all. It's just, everyone knew it was going to happen. We all knew it was going to happen. The Palestinians knew it was going to happen because there have been so many occasions where there have been either ceasefire agreements or just kind of instances where Israel has had the opportunity to get the hostages back. And they have proven time and time again, and they have outwardly said that their priority is not the hostages, because their priority is taking that land. Their priority is, expansionism, is expanding, and imperialism in its harshest and in its most merciless form. They want that land. They don't care who they have to kill to get it. And that's the horrifying part, that they are willing to sacrifice so many Palestinians because they're not Jewish, because they're not Israelis, because they are not as worthwhile as human beings from Israel's standpoint as the white settlers are. And it's just we knew this was going to happen. He's said this so many times. Every single time any kind of Israeli official comes out, what they say is more and more horrifying than what was previously said. They reach new lows every single day. This is just one of them.
Yeah, and the people who say they're not committing a genocide, and the Israeli officials like, we are. This is our intent. I mean, they're pretty open about it. I mean, when people tell you who they are, believe them. Many people like Ben Gvir have literally said, no, we think they're animals. We want to take the land. And yet we have people in this country, in the media, right, saying, oh, it's a lie. In fact, actually, it's disrespectful to Jewish people because there was a real genocide in the Holocaust, as if, genocides are not... The Holocaust isn't the only genocide, right? There's multiple sort of genocides, right?
If you look at even like the Holocaust Education Trust, their website speaks about the fact that they are for other genocides as well. There has never been an issue recognizing that there were multiple genocides until one of them came along, and that genocide was, the justification was to do with Judaism. Now suddenly, oh no, the Holocaust was the only genocide ever. No, we're not going to talk about Rwanda. No, we're not going to talk about any of them. No one had any issues recognizing that there are multiple genocides happening in the world until one was committed in our name.